Hi, Carl here for ProAV TV, and today we're going to go through our list of the 5 main reasons why customers end up picking up the little Sony Z90 or NX80 camcorders. Now, for the purposes of this video, we're going to treat the two as the same camera effectively. I mean, the Z90 is the higher end model. It's got the SDI port, the better streaming, the better codec, but for all intents and purposes, and certainly as far as we're concerned for this video and this list, we're able to treat the two as the same camera, as they are very similar in a lot of ways. A comment I often hear from customers the first time they use these cameras is that they're very surprised at just how good the image quality from these little cameras are. I mean, the NX80 and the Z90 really do punch well above their weight when it comes to image quality. If you compare them to cameras in Sony's lineup of fixed lens camcorders, as you move up the range, you're going to get benefits with ergonomics and codecs, things like that. Not necessarily image quality, because these cameras have a beautiful 1-inch sensor in it, which gives lovely shallow depth of field, lovely colors, and all the rest of it. And it's got that Sony look and feel that we're all very used to and accustomed to. So it's going to match perfectly into existing productions and match very well with other cameras from Sony's lineup. They've also put all the slow motion features that they often put into their cameras into these. You get up to 1000 frames a second in 1080p. As you go that high, the quality does drop though, so most customers end up settling around 100 frames a second or 240 frames a second, but that's plenty slow enough for most things and means that you can shoot some lovely slow motion with these cameras too. Every conversation I've ever had with a customer about these cameras has revolved around size, because there's no getting around it. These are tiny little cameras. They're basically handycams, especially when you strip off the top handle unit like this. They are just so small and convenient, and that is the main reason that people end up choosing this camera over other ones. If you need a small little convenient camcorder and a small size as possible is important to you, but you still need that professional image quality, these are just a natural choice. And even when you build them up with the top handle and the battery on the back and everything like that, full shooting package, they're only 1.3 kilos. So they're really, really small, really lightweight, and they're going to just be so convenient to film with. The Z90 in particular is very popular with customers that already own a larger camera in Sony's lineup. Something like the FS7, FS5, or the Z280, Z190, Z150, cameras like that. If they're just that little bit too big for the situation that you're in, it's very useful having a small little light B camera like this to fall back on. And of course, because the look matches pretty well across the cameras, that Sony look is still there throughout, you can easily use this as a close-up for an interview, or for situations where you don't want to look like a professional camera operator. You want to disappear into the background for some more journalistic style shooting. Cameras like this are brilliant. And also, because it's got full auto features as well, you can just turn all of those on and hand this over to someone who is less experienced operating cameras, maybe a producer, someone like that, that you just want to run around and get some quick point and shoot shots, or maybe behind the scenes shots, something like that. Having a small little B camera like this on set with you is very, very useful indeed. The NX80 and the Z90 are actually two of the best cameras in Sony's entire lineup in terms of autofocus performance. This was the big leap forward that Sony made over the previous generation of this style of camera. They put a lot of time and research into their autofocus technology. They call it their hybrid AF system, and it's based around phase detect points. And not only is it very, very fast, accurate and reliable, it's also very controllable, which I think is absolutely crucial. There's no point in the camera very quickly, accurately and reliably focusing on something if it's the wrong thing that it's chosen to be in focus. So giving the operator the tools that we need to be able to select what's in focus by touching on what you want in focus, or things like face detect, things like that, it's absolutely crucial. So if you do any sort of work where you want the camera to be doing the focusing for you instead of you as the operator, maybe you're wearing big gloves because it's cold, or maybe you're just working really quickly in uncontrolled situations, or maybe you're just handing the camera off to an inexperienced operator and you want the camera to be the one that's trusted into keeping your shots in focus, you are going to be able to rely on these cameras, and it's going to make a huge, huge difference. Both cameras have got everything that you need for an HDR workflow. They've both got S-Log for when you want to grade yourself that HDR look and export to HDR10, to PQ, to HLG in the post-production suite. Or they've got HLG in camera for quick turnaround HDR work. And actually, I often recommend to customers using HLG just as a normal standard gamma, because then you've got the HLG side of it to fall back onto for HDR delivery if you might need it in the future. But it also just looks great as a standard gamma for ordinary work, and you can use the files in exactly the same way as you use normal files. Or you can deliver an HLG file to your customers and they'll see a normal file if they've just got normal playback devices, or they'll see an HDR file if they have HDR playback devices. So just for normal work, having HLG in camera is incredibly useful, and the addition of both S-Log and HLG makes these very future-proofed camera choices indeed. So that was our list of the 5 main reasons why customers end up choosing the little Sony Z90 or NX80 camcorders. So what do you think of our list? Do you agree with everything? Maybe there's something you think we've missed off. Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you want to buy either of these cameras for yourself, just head over to the product pages. The links to that are in the description, or of course you can just call up the ProAV sales team. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.